Welcome to Goddesses. I'm your host, Blair Minerva. Today on Goddesses, imagine a world where your greatest strength is seen as your biggest flaw, where every step forward is met with a wall of resistance. Today, we explore how Elizabeth Blackwell defied a society that tried to silence her. But what if her greatest triumph led to an unexpected sacrifice that threatened to shatter her dreams forever? Have you ever felt the weight of a moment when everything could change? When a single choice might alter not just your life, but the lives of countless others? For Elizabeth Blackwell, that moment came in a dimly lit room in 1845, as she knelt beside her dying friend Mary. The air was thick with the scent of illness and despair. The words hung in the air like a challenge. Elizabeth felt something stir within her, not just sympathy, but a fierce determination that would reshape the medical world forever. You might think becoming a doctor today is challenging. Now imagine doing it in a world where women weren't allowed to vote, own property, or pursue higher education. Elizabeth faced not just closed doors, but a society that viewed her ambitions as an act of war against nature itself. The rejection letters arrived like clockwork. 29 medical schools slammed their doors in her face. Each envelope contained not just a no, but a message. Know your place. Stay in your lane. Accept your limitations. But with each rejection, Elizabeth's resolve hardened. She understood something profound that you might recognize in your own life. Sometimes, the world's resistance to your dreams is the clearest sign you're on the right path. Here's where fate plays its hand. The 30th school, Geneva Medical College, decided to let their all-male student body vote on her application. They thought it was a joke. Surely no woman would actually show up. When Elizabeth walked into that lecture hall in 1847, the laughter died in their throats. Picture yourself alone in a room of 150 men who believe you don't belong there. Every cough, every whisper, every sideways glance carries the same message. You are an intruder. Elizabeth sat in the front row, spine straight as steel, taking meticulous notes while male students shifted their chairs away from her, as if intelligence was contagious. The room holds its breath. The class erupts in shocked murmurs. But in that moment, she's done more than stand her ground. She's shown them all that courage isn't about being fearless. It's about facing your fears and choosing to persist anyway. You might think graduating first in her class in 1849 would silence the critics. But success often breeds fiercer resistance. Hospitals refused to hire her. Patients wouldn't trust her. Fellow doctors spread rumors about her character. The words stung, but Elizabeth had learned to transform pain into purpose. But Elizabeth understood something that you might recognize in your own journey. Sometimes, the walls we hit become the foundations we build upon. Instead of fighting a system that wouldn't accept her, she created her own. In 1857, she founded the New York Infirmary for Women and Children, a hospital staffed entirely by women. It wasn't just a medical facility. It was a declaration of independence. Think about that for a moment. When the existing institutions wouldn't change, she created her own. When society said no, she created her own yes. This wasn't just about medicine anymore. It was about reimagining what was possible. If you're enjoying Goddesses, please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code for our free 7-day email course, Be an Unstoppable Woman. Lead without apology using quiet power tactics from influential females like Oprah, Malala, and RBG. Now, back to the episode. Life has a way of testing our deepest commitments. For Elizabeth, that test came in Paris while treating an infant with an eye infection. The treatment splashed into her own eye, leading to an infection that would eventually claim her sight in that eye. The physical pain was excruciating, but the emotional toll was devastating. Her dream of becoming a surgeon vanished in that moment. But watch what happens next. Instead of retreating, she adapted. She shifted her focus to promoting preventive medicine and public health. Her partial blindness didn't end her story. It just opened a new chapter. When the Civil War erupted, Elizabeth saw opportunity in chaos. She trained nurses for Union hospitals, revolutionizing sanitary conditions and medical care. The same society that had once rejected her now, desperately, needed her expertise. She proved that competence speaks louder than prejudice. By the time Elizabeth moved to London in 1869, she had transformed from an outsider to a pioneer. She became the first woman listed on the British Medical Register. The London School of Medicine for Women opened its doors, inspired by her example. The ripples of her defiance had become waves of change. Now, let me ask you something. When was the last time you let someone else's no define your possibilities? Elizabeth Blackwell's story isn't just about medicine or gender equality. It's about the power of transforming opposition into opportunity. Here's your challenge. Identify the wall in your life that everyone says you can't break through. That thing they say is impossible or not for people like you. Now, instead of seeing it as a barrier, view it as a blueprint. What new path could you create? What system could you build? Remember, Elizabeth Blackwell didn't just become the first woman doctor in America. She created new institutions, new possibilities, new futures. She understood that true revolution isn't just about breaking barriers. It's about building better alternatives. The world still needs pioneers. It needs people who see closed doors as invitations to build new entrances. Your obstacles aren't your enemies. They're your opportunities to reshape reality. The question isn't whether you'll face resistance, you will. The question is, what will you build with it? The next chapter of this story isn't about Elizabeth Blackwell anymore. It's about you. What will they say was impossible until you did it? On the next episode of Goddesses, imagine if the determination that drove Elizabeth Blackwell to defy societal norms and transform medicine could be seen again in our lifetime. Well, it was. Just 50 years later, another woman battled her own impossible odds, not just for herself, but for countless children whose lives hung by a thread. This heroine didn't have sight loss as her barrier, but something far more silent and invisible: hearing loss. What if I told you that this brave doctor, who fought against professional rejection and prejudice, would go on to revolutionize pediatric cardiology, leaving behind a legacy as profound as Blackwell's? Don't miss Helen Tausig's incredible journey next week. Please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code, or follow the pinned link to get our free 7-day email course, Be an Unstoppable Woman. 7 days, 7 iconic women. Master the art of quiet power, lead without apology, and turn femininity into your greatest weapon. Click the video that just popped up to watch the next one in this series. Or for episode summaries, behind-the-scenes info, and more, go to daily8.com/GOD. Thanks for watching.